Welcome back everyone to Sci-Fi Thursday. In today's video, I'm going to show you some containers that I found on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description below the video so that you can get them. They're great Star Wars containers that work for 6-inch figures or even 3 3/4-inch figures. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to paint and weather them. I think you're really going to like these. All right, let's get to it. Okay, here are the containers. Let me put some images up on the screen so that you can see what these look like with some stormtroopers standing next to them. Well, as you can see, they work with both 6-inch figures and 3 3/4-inch figures. Now check out the detail on these. So they fit together, so they stack. But if you wanted to cut the tabs off and make it level in the back, you could have a wall of these. And it would just be a great background for photographing. Okay, I sprayed them, the two blue ones, with French blue. And you can see it's satin. I wish it was a flat spray paint, but it's not. Okay. I did not prime it first. It says it's a paint and primer all in one, so I just sprayed them. Now we're going to take, I just put some water in here, and I put a drop of iced coffee, any light brown, just to kind of dirty up the water. Now we're taking Royal Navy. And we're just putting a wash over the entire thing. This does get kind of messy. That's why I laid down a paper towel. Want to make sure you brush underneath. You don't have to get the very bottom if you don't want to. Now when it dries, it's going to leave some weird stains, kind of like watermarks. And that's okay, because next we're going to dry brush this winter blue over it. And that will hide all those marks. Same with these numbers. You'll see numbers on the top there. We're going to paint over that with the winter blue. Now as it dries, you'll see it starts to kind of pool up. Just we're soaking up some of that color with our brush. I don't know if you can see how dark it is down at the bottom. Like I said, don't worry if it leaves like stains. We'll take care of that in the next step. Okay, now we'll take our hair dryer. You'll notice I'm taking a heavy brush, thick brush, and just brushing over it. That way if there's any blue paint that's still wet, it just well, it dries and it adds streaks. So you definitely want to go in one direction. You don't want to go this way. Just up and down. Okay, they should be all dry. Just showing you what it looks like so that you don't think that you're doing it wrong if you do it at home. Okay, now let's take, again, we're using Winter Blue. Now you want to paint sections, but avoid the edge. You're painting in the center of the sections. I'll show you if it doesn't make sense. Now this looks really light at first, but as it dries, you'll see that blue coming through. Now this first coat looks really streaky. But we'll go back over it again. You'll see we'll go over it quick, dry brushing it, and it'll blend it all together. Okay, already it's dry. So now any area where you think it's too dark, just dry brush over it. There's very little paint on my brush, and I'm just, at this point, it's really blending it. I don't know if it's showing up on camera, but that's really blending it all together. Okay, so again, starting a new section, we're avoiding the edge. We're just maybe leaving a 1/16 of an inch around the edges that we're not painting. And this first coat is pretty streaky looking. You can actually see the brush strokes, and if there's, you can see there's a hard edge, a hard line where that water dries. See, we're just covering that up. It dries really quick because we're not doing a thick coat. So then go back to our very first section. Go a little heavier in the center. Same over here. And we're just blending it out. Okay, we'll let that dry and then we'll come back to it. Okay, I won't make you watch me do the rest of this, but here's where we're at so far with it. I really hope this is showing up. Okay, I'll go ahead. I've got to do this side and the bottom and then all of this one. Let me do that and then I'll come back and we'll move on to the next step. Okay, I've got this one all painted. I haven't done this one yet. Well, look at the difference. Now, you can take just pure paint. And just in the center of some objects. Hopefully you can see this. So I'm not even blending it out. I'm just using that pure color. And it looks pretty stark at first. Really bright. But then you'll see as it dries, it's not quite as bright. I wanted to let everyone know that I have a new Instagram page called Jason Jensen Toys. And it's just dedicated to all of the toys I collect and paint. So I hope you join me on Instagram again at Jason Jensen Toys. Now we're going to take a sponge. I have not done this one yet just because I wanted to just show you how to do this. I can do that one later. Now I like stuff to be rusty. So now we're taking our sponge and going over the corners and edges with raw sienna. I'm definitely going heavier towards the bottom. Now if you see any blue that you don't like that's too dark, now's the chance to cover that up or kind of fade it. Now you can also take your brush, a lot of water, okay, it's to the point where there's hardly any paint on my brush, but now you can kind of dry brush and give it that rust wash look. Now, bittersweet chocolate. Oh, this is dark. This is dark. So you just actually, the trick I've found that works for me is using a tweezer. With your finger, you tend to dab it too hard, and with the tweezer, for some reason, maybe it's just me, but you tend to go lighter. You're more delicate with it, and this does take a delicate touch for this step. So edges and corners, and wherever you see where you went heavy with the raw sienna, put some of this in that area. Now we'll definitely go heavier at the bottom. Okay, now back to our raw sienna. Now on some of these spots where there's heavy rust, make sure that the lines are straight. You don't want them curved. Okay, now we're going to take some pan pastels. They're like soft pastel chalk. And you can see it's like a dry, powdery look. Just like rust. And you can see I'm just blending it out with my fingers. Okay, we'll do a little bit on the sides. Now take a sharp number 2 pencil and go over the edges. Now, if you don't want to use a pencil, you can use silver paint. I'm using this dry brush paint from Ammo. I feel like the brush works a lot better. But if you don't have silver paint, you can use the pencil. They do make a product called Rub and Buff that's silver, and you can just dip your finger and rub over all the corners and edges. And I haven't used that. I don't own any, but I know a lot of people use it. Very time consuming. Well, I guess we better keep going. Okay, this is not water-based, so you have to clean your brush with some thinner mineral spirits. Okay, let's take cadmium yellow and paint those stripes. You know, that's kind of bright. Let's try saffron yellow. can see it has a little more orange to it. Now I did go around all those stripes with the panel liner. Same with on the top. Now you don't have to do this solid. You can really make it look like it's chipped off or worn. Okay, now we're going to take Gray Sky. You can see I was just doing some dry brushing with that Gray Sky. You know what? What the heck? We're going to try a little bit of white on those symbols. Maybe just towards the top. You don't want to mess with it too much and risk screwing it up. All right, that was such a fun project. Those little containers you saw at the beginning of the video, they're called Doorables. And again, I'll put a link in the description below the video for them. So just click on the link, it'll take you straight to Amazon and you can buy them. They're like $9 or $10. They're just awesome. They're awesome little containers. I think they look great. And, you know, at the beginning of the video, I told you that you can open them up and separate them and then stack them. So it looks like you have more than what you really do. But so much fun to paint. Well, I hope it inspired you. And please take a moment and give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. All right, well, until next time, stay motivated and happy modeling, everyone.